I'm Amanda.
I'm Jessie. In this podcast, we talk about the joys of motherhood as well as the experiences that have altered us along the way.
We've created a safe space to talk about the hard and unconventional alongside the beauty, and we want you to feel confident in the decisions that you make as a mother.
Welcome to the Motherhood Collective Co.
Let's talk.
Welcome back to the Motherhood Collective Co. Do you know what I was thinking about earlier? Was like the last thing that I said on our last episode before Thanksgiving was, we're going to be consistent now. Barring illness, we will be recording. And then I jinxed us because there's been illness every freaking
illness,
week.
Yeah. Barring illness is the thing.
I know. I think I cursed us. I was literally had that thought when I was putting Lily to bed. I think I did that. Bad. I jinxed it.
Yeah. It's kind of been nonstop.
Yeah. Has anybody else's winter been hellacious and full of 7 different viruses? Because ours has. But we're here. We're here and ready to catch you guys up on life. And we've got a buttload of questions that we'll probably do next episode, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know we had questions.
Yeah. And then I was thinking we should do our book club book.
Oh, yeah.
After that, you want to do that?
Yeah.
So if you guys want to get a jump on that, we're reading The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry by who?
It's right here.
Oh. John Ortberg.
It's a red book.
It's a great book. I just finished it today, actually.
I did too.
And it's really good.
Second nap.
He's still taking 2?
Yep. Most days. I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know. It's a really difficult transition, as you know. It's like some days he doesn't fall asleep until like noon, and then it's like 1 nap, but then he's like ready for bed by 6, which is fine, but it's just always like a lot of whininess.
Yeah.
But then he like normally will do a 10 a.m. nap and then like a 3 p.m. nap, and like that works really well. But he's definitely ready to drop that soon. Is that your phone?
I don't know. Is it?
So, yeah, it's not mine. It sounded like someone was calling you.
Okay, well, they can't now. Oh, Amazon packages have been delivered.
Oh.
I ordered, remember when you got me Half Baked Harvest for Christmas? And I've made like every recipe in that book, so I ordered her new one.
Oh, good.
It's called like Cozy and Simple and Cozy or something. I think it's supposed to be like quicker recipes. So that's on my doorstep now.
Half-Baked Harvest is the best. It's just so many ingredients sometimes, but I like skip out on half of them because some of them are just like not super relevant, you know? Just like really specific oils and spices and anyways.
Well, we were going to do a quick catch up on life since we haven't seen you in like 3 months. We're really happy to be recording.
Yeah.
I've been kind of sad to not be recording. I don't know how I'm going to handle social media though, because I'm not doing social media right now. So can you upload stuff from your browser? Like, could I do it from my computer?
I bet.
I'm gonna have to figure that out because I don't.
Neither of us are on social media, actually.
I've been, I still use the ClearSpace app, but there's like strict mode on the ClearSpace app. I was telling you this, where you can lock it up.
Yeah.
And so I've been doing 12 hours a day. I can't even access Pinterest, Instagram, or Facebook. I put TikTok on there because I have the app, but I think I've opened TikTok all of like 5 times in my life. And it was only to post stuff for our page, and then I stopped doing that because that's just one more app to keep up with.
It is. It is. And now it's like, it's not banned anymore, but because I had deleted it before the ban happened, I can't even re-download it, which I was like, you know what? Praise God.
Honestly, yes, probably, especially for you who gets into like the news reels and stuff.
Yeah, no, it's a good decision for sure.
Yeah.
I don't miss social media at all.
No.
The only thing I miss is like the accountability that I gave myself to write every day, which it was just like, it felt like I had to write to post just to like keep up with like my own goals.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I'm not really writing that much, but
well, and it's a season of your life right now that you're not. But also, like, I wonder, could you just do that from a browser on like a desktop computer?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because then you could like budget time. Like, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to budget time to sit down and like schedule them all out. So we'll see. I don't know.
Next step, hire that out.
Yes, for real. That needs to
sure.
go.
I made a list of like things that have happened since we last record because that's just like how my brain works.
Yeah, I'm winging it. So, because that's how my brain works.
I was like, we could just go back and forth and update people. Okay, point number 1. We went to the Aulani Disney Resort in Hawaii.
Yes.
That was so fun. And like definitely one of the first vacations where I just didn't want to come home at all. Like not even a little bit. And normally I'm like, okay, this was fun, but like time to go home. No, it was like such a dream.
Oh.
And like the food was so good. Cause I also feel like sometimes at resorts, it's like very hit or miss. The food was so good. And there was just so many things to do there that even after being there for 8 days, I feel like there was still probably stuff that we didn't like, you know, do or see. We did rent a car, so we were able to kind of like see.
Explore.
Yeah. My dad flew us out there, which was really fun. He was our pilot. And yeah, I don't know. It's just so fun to see my kids on the beach all day. Like,
yeah, the pictures of Sunny were so cute.
So
And Leggy too,
fun.
but just a little girl.
Just see them like, it just even in a week of like, they just get so tan and their hair gets so blonde. And I'm like, gosh, I know it's just like so good for them to just be outside all day and like all the friends.
And it's hard to come back to Colorado in the winter because honestly, the winter months here suck.
Yeah.
Sucks.
And I think like, yeah, I don't know. I've had thoughts of like, we should move to the beach, but then also it's like, I'm sure you get sick of that too eventually.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, like if you didn't have dark, you wouldn't appreciate light.
Yeah.
So I don't think you would find as much joy in summer.
Yeah.
And pools. Like, like you had that all year round.
True.
You know?
Yeah. I would say like my biggest, I think what I'll always remember about that trip was that Sunny is just like, if you know her, she's just so outgoing and so sweet. And everywhere she goes, she makes friends. But by the end of our like 8th day there, we would literally be walking around and we would hear, "Hey, Sunny. Hey, hi, Sunny." Like from all these people. I'm like, literally, who is that person? Everybody knew Sunny, by like the workers, the people that were serving us at the restaurants. Like it was just all these kids. It was just really cute, I think, to just see her like in that element. And I was really proud of Ledger because he did really well on the plane. But anyways, if it's on your bucket list, you should go. I thought it was so fun.
We went home from Missouri for Thanksgiving. That was my traveling in November, which was so good. And because like, I was really nervous about it because we hadn't stayed with my parents since we first got married in over 7 years. But my mom's been sober for a year, has like found Christ and found a church. And it was honestly like, it was an amazing trip. It was the first time like I've been home. I mean, and specifically my parents live in my grandparents' house who have passed. It's the first time I've been there since my grandma lived there and wasn't sick, where I was like, okay, this feels like home. And like, it was so nice, like to see Noah, who's old enough now to like remember my parents from when they visited last time, you know, like he doesn't have goldfish memory anymore. And, to like interact with them and like build rapport. And my dad, cause I grew up in the country. My dad is a country guy, like hunts, fishes, like he could survive an apocalypse just on like the 250 acres they have.
Yeah, no,
out
that's
there.
my plan if something goes downhill. Like I'm literally driving down the street to you and I'm like, okay, I'll follow you.
But we don't really have that here, obviously, because like Brady and I aren't super like that. Brady's resourceful, but like doesn't hunt and stuff. Anyways, so it's really fun to see Noah like shooting guns, and he like kept all of his targets that my dad gave him, like the paper ones and all of the shells from when him and my dad were shooting. And my dad has like a walk-in freezer for his meat that he hunts, and so like Noah got to help him process deer and like clean deer. And like I think it's so important for kids to see where food comes from. Like you buy a package of beef from the store and you just don't get where that comes from.
Dude, not me, not Sunny. We have to live in a constant disassociation or we will be vegetarians.
Yeah. Oh, I know. That's why I was vegan for 5 years. But I don't mind eating hunted meat because those animals never suffered. They lived a beautiful, great life and they never suffered. But the meat we buy from the grocery store, they just lived in hell and it's awful. Yeah. So anyways, that's different discussion for a different time.
Now that everyone's traumatized.
But it was so fun to just watch Noah like do stuff that I did growing up.
Yeah.
And like look at all my family photos and I don't know. So it was like a really healing trip, I feel like. And then we came back and that's when all the sickness started because that was Thanksgiving and we haven't recorded since. You went to Alani the week before Thanksgiving and we recorded 2 episodes.
I think it was a couple weeks before Thanksgiving because we came home, bought a camper and drove to Jackson, Wyoming for Thanksgiving.
Yes. But that all happened. I feel like you coming home, buying a camper, driving to Jackson all happened within 1 week.
Did it?
Yeah. It was all very quick.
Yeah. That's sometimes how Chase and I are as humans. Yeah. Well, okay. He like always wanted to have a camper because they like grew up. It's an RV. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the difference between a camper and an RV is.
You drive it and you sleep in it.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, his family like did all of those trips growing up. We never did trips like that. And honestly, like at the first glance of what that could be, I was like not very interested. I get very like motion sick. Yeah. I was like, what's the point? Like, let's just go camping or go to a hotel or whatever. But then he kept pushing it and I'm like, okay, clearly this is important to you. If you find one, like I would love to like vet it with you. We're not going to buy like a gross one, you know? And then he was like talking to one of his friends one day and his buddy was like, oh yeah, my parents have been trying to sell theirs for a little while. And this is like a good friend of Chase's. His wife is a good friend of mine. Yeah. Their parents are Christians. Like they took really good care of it. And they're like, we're actually like doing a showing this weekend in the Walmart parking lot. So I don't know. I went very skeptical. I was like, if there's any weird smells, if there's weird stains, if there's signs of like, my standards were like so high. And they had taken such good care of it and it was really cute and like they had renovated it and I still didn't like fully see the vision, but I was like, okay, this like it's cute and it's clean and that's great. So Chase just like bought it on the spot and then we had to like hustle and get all of the like the title and all this stuff.
So you could drive later that week
to Jackson. Yeah.
And then what like store it? I mean, don't specifically say where, but is it like a RV?
Yeah, there's RV storage units. Yeah. But like as we were driving there, I was like, okay, I get it. Like, I get why this is so fun because there's like you can make food while you're driving and you can make a coffee while you're driving and you can like lay in the back and nap with your kids and watch shows. Awesome. And I'm like, this is the way to road trip, you know?
That is awesome.
So
maybe we should rent an RV the next time we drive to Missouri.
You should.
That would be fun.
I really have fallen in love with it and we've like done a lot to it since we got it. Like we took the microwave out because I hate microwaves if you know me as a person. If I could take the microwave out of our house, I would, but it's mine like is a unit.
Always a food warmer. I always put Brady's dinner in there, like to just stay warm until he gets home.
Yeah, like I was like the first sign of the fact that we could get that microwave out of there. We got it out of there. We put one of those like non-toxic air fryers and then like a little espresso machine, and we have a Berkey in there. I don't know. It just feels like home away from home. I can clean it with my products. We can sleep in our own sheets. It's not like nasty. Our dogs can come. We don't have to pay for them.
That's so true.
So
that is so true. Oh no, I do love a camper.
Yeah.
Or an RV.
Well, remember we talked about it a long time ago. You guys were thinking about that for a while.
We don't travel enough for that. I don't know why we don't.
It would make you though, because then it's like when you think about like why you don't go to the mountains for a weekend, it's like, okay, because you have like, it's first of all really expensive for a hotel. We have to pay for our dogs. Our dogs are usually like $50 a night per dog. And it's like, who has that kind of money to do that? I don't know. And then just like, I don't know. There's just so much planning that goes into it. Whereas if you have an RV, it's like so on a whim a lot of times, which sometimes is helpful. But yeah.
What was the next thing that happened for me? Oh, so when we came back from Missouri, I decided that Lily was out of our room.
Oh, so
that was a big thing. So we had bought a queen size mattress for Lily's room a couple weeks before Thanksgiving because we knew like Brady was going to have a 2-week break from work for Christmas. And we're like, okay, this is when it has to happen. And I was at a point where I was just like not mentally or physically doing well because like Lily just did not sleep well in my bed at all. And so when I came back from Thanksgiving, I started sleeping with her in her room because I was like, okay, this is going to be the cutoff of you're no longer in our room. Now you're in Lily's room. And if you listen to like what we did with Noah, we basically did the same thing, but instead of it taking a week, it took 2 months. We did it like slower because I felt like she needed it. But she instantly loved her room. She was so excited to have, like, we bought her like little flower sheets and pillowcases, and I let her pick out a blanket at Target, and we put her stuffed animals on the bed. And she just instantly would go in there and get under the covers and pull them up to her neck, and was so excited to be in her bed. So that was really good. Still didn't sleep well with her while I was in there, but I was just excited that she was happy. And then Christmas break hit like the week before Christmas, and we switched. Brady, I should say, the week before we did any of that, Brady, we put bars on the floor bed. So it was like a, what do you call that? I don't know. It was basically a giant queen size crib.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And so Brady came in, and we did literally like the same process we did with Noah. If you want to listen to that, it's transitioning from co-sleeping. I think it's like episode 50 something. And we did the same thing, literally the same thing. It took not that long. For Noah, I think it was like 3 nights. Lily, we again stretched out over 2 full weeks while Brady was there, but she never once cried. She never once asked for me. She never once, like, nothing. I was like floored. I was floored that first night I woke up, and I didn't wake up because I had the monitor right next to me to see how many times she woke up. I was absolutely floored because I thought that it was going to be so hard because she was so different than Noah, where Noah slept already very well while he was co-sleeping with me. And the only reason we were getting him out was because he always kicked Brady, and Brady needed him out. And Lily did not. So I was really anticipating it to be hard, but it really wasn't. And she's doing great. She's really thriving. And I'm sleeping, which means my whole house is organized, which we can talk about next, because that's like
the capacity that ensues.
So if you're like exhausted, I feel you so hard, because I don't think I knew how exhausted I was until I'm not exhausted anymore. And it was really bad. Yeah. It was not conducive to.
And when that's perpetuated over like a long period of time, you kind of forget what it feels like to like operate as a human.
Yeah.
And then when you take like pregnancy into account too, it's like, it's a long time.
Yeah, it is.
Let's see. Our family got really bad news like a few days before Christmas, and I don't really want to get into it, honestly. I'm learning that, well, I've known this about myself, but I'm like a really private person. Like when things are like really bad, there's like very few people that I actually talk to about it. And that's just, I don't know why that is. I just like don't blast things from the rooftops, especially like really hard things. I'll probably share about it, but I just don't really have like concise thoughts about it all right now. And I feel like, I don't know. I just want to like have a good like headspace to share what's going on. Yeah. But I will say we would love prayers for our family, because it's been really hard. Okay. I'm transforming one of our closets into like a dog closet, and I'm having a lot of fun with that because
do you have pictures of what it looks like right now?
I don't know. I should have. My phone's been dying for days, like just at like 8%. I just haven't charged it fully, and I never have it with me, so that's also a problem. Anyways, there's a closet in a room that we don't use, that we use to lock the dogs up when we leave, and it had carpet in it. My brother came over today and put like laminate flooring down. I'm gonna like wallpaper a cute doggy wallpaper, and maybe put like their pictures, maybe like watercolor their faces and like hang them in like vintage frames, and like give them like a bougie bed. And I don't know, it just like makes me happy to think about having like a little project over the winter. I'm limited to little projects right now. Nothing else big can happen until Chase's busy season picks up again, which is fine. Yeah.
No, our project that I want to do, I have a couple things. I really want to like revamp my garden this year. I want to put flowers everywhere. Yeah. I want to put I've always wanted like a daybed porch swing.
Oh yeah.
And not like a huge one, because I don't feel like my porch is big enough for a huge one, like a twin size mattress. Something where I can like sit with both of my kids, and it's deep. I could lay down if I wanted to. And have you ever heard of like the Porch Swing Company? That's where, because I'm like, I don't want to build one. I don't want to have my husband build one, because God love him, he will perfect the crap out of it, and it will take weeks. And I don't want it to take weeks. I just want to get it. Yeah. And I want to put it up. But the porch swing company is like the only place I can really find them to my liking. And they're like $1,600. Not happening. There is an unfinished one that's a twin size mattress that comes like just unfinished wood, and you can paint it, seal it, stain it, whatever, for $700 on Amazon.
It's the one on Amazon. Yeah.
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 So I'm definitely
That's perfect.
getting that.
Yeah.
So perfect. I want to do a lot with my garden, and my only project that I really want to do this year is my bedroom. Because it's like it's still untouched. It looks like we just moved in there like we're college kids with just old IKEA furniture.
Yep. Our bedroom was the space where I was just like, this is going to just be what it is for a little while until I have like the money and capacity to like tackle it.
And I want to do it like really well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want it to just be a quick flip.
Yeah.
I want to like actually put some money in there because like, I don't know, it's our bedroom.
I know.
I think it should be fun and cozy and a place where I want to like come to. So yeah, those are my house project lists.
I love that. I love that.
Have too much house.
I know. I feel like if I could like choose what we could do this year, because both kids' rooms are pretty much done. There's like crown molding I'd love to add, but like aside from that, it's I would love to do our hallway.
Like your entryway hallway?
No, like upstairs hallway. Actually, the entryway needs to be something. I'm looking for like a vintage church pew to put in the entryway and like
Facebook Marketplace. So easy.
I know, but they're so expensive. Like I'm trying to see and like there needs to be some hooks or something, because right now nobody has anywhere to put their stuff. But like upstairs I want to do something with that hallway. And then our laundry room and our bedroom too, which our bedroom is like one of those things where I'm like, I feel the same way you do. Like I just want to like make sure I know what I want before we even.
I still don't
it's
think
such
I
a
know
big
what
project.
Yeah.
I have an idea, but also
I know I'm ripping the carpet out of there.
It's hard
for sure.
like for me to think about. I don't know. Just like, I don't know. I don't even know. It just seems overwhelming right now. So I'm like, maybe we'll just do the laundry room, the hallway, and like kind of go from there. But eventually I'd love to put like a dog bath in our by our pantry downstairs, like you know what I mean? Yeah,
no, Brady and I have talked about doing that like in our garage, because like our garage backs up to our kitchen, so we could so easily tap into the water line.
Yes. Right
there, you know? It would be pretty easy. What else?
Oh, I had a cool story. So so Chase and I were at church one day and we were like worshiping, and there was a song that came on and I'm like, I love this song. Like it's such a good song. And I hadn't really heard it before, but I really liked it. And so even we like got in the car and I was like, that song was so good. And it was just like what we needed to hear with what we're going through in our family right now. And it's called Good Plans. And then probably 15 minutes after I left church, my sister Amanda texts our family group chat and was like, our pastor today was talking all about like how God has good plans for us. And like, she said like good plans about like 5 times on her text message. And then Amanda Johnson texts me like maybe 10 minutes after that and was like, I'm on a worship drive with Lily and I just like am singing this song over you and your family. And it's the same song. And I was like, okay, God. And so
he's pretty cool.
That's kind of like been my anthem for this whole year. It's just like, and it's really cool because I feel like the Lord keeps it in my brain as I sleep. Like if I wake up in the night, it's just like playing in my head. And it's playing in our house, in our car. I wrote it on our little like felt board. But I just thought that was a really cool story. I love when God confirms things. And sometimes when he confirms things in threes, it's like, I don't know. He does that a lot in my life where it's like 3 times I'm going to confirm something. Well,
I mean, in all the Bible stories, you get 3 versions of the same story every time, because that's like his way of solidifying a truth. Yeah. Because I think he just knows too, like me and humanity as a whole, like sometimes the first time we're just going to brush it off as like, oh yeah, maybe that was you. Second time, maybe, oh, it's a coincidence. But like 3 times, it's like, especially in like 20 minutes, he's like, okay, I have good plans for your family. So that was really cool. I love that.
I just wrote that down.
I love that. That was a really cool experience for me too, because I was like listening to that song and I just like got this overwhelming feeling. Like I was in tears driving. And then I don't know, it's like those moments where you feel the Spirit that deeply. It's just like I just hold that so closely, and that was just it was just cool. And then
it's so cool when you like obey that nudge too, because like how many times do we probably like have those feelings about people? And then we don't say anything and we like don't get to participate in like what God has. Like even the other day I was having like a really horrible day, but the Lord in the midst of that was like, I want you to text this person and just encourage them in their work right now, like what they're doing, and like that there's a purpose behind it, and that like all this stuff. And she texted me back and she was like, oh my gosh, you're freaking me out. Like I literally was just like trying to process through like what God has for me in this business and like moving like all this stuff. And I'm like, I could have so easily just like stayed in my pity party and just been like, I have nothing to pour out to anyone right now. But it's cool when we can just be like, oh wait, God still wants to speak to people. And then like, see the fruit of that is so cool.
Anything else on your update list?
I have a few things. Do you have anything before I like go again? Because I just
really. Go ahead. You're fine.
Okay, I wanted to share. I got a full body MRI done.
Oh yes,
which was like really cool for me.
I want to do that so bad.
So I don't know if you guys have heard of Prenuvo, but they were like in a few different cities, like the big ones, like New York and Chicago and Atlanta, I think, and LA, and they've expanded and they just got to Denver earlier this year. And basically it's a full body MRI that you can just like sign up for. You don't need a reference or a referral. And they don't use contrast. It's no radiation in an MRI. And it's kind of like a boutique setting for people who don't really like medical experiences. Like you walk in, there's like a coffee bar and there's all these healthy snacks, and you just like go back and you get to watch a Netflix show. And then they like upload to your app a few days later like all of your findings, but they scan you like from head to toe. It's like tumor detection. It can detect abnormalities, inflammation, enlarged organs. Like if you just scroll through even just what they check in your brain, it's like they can check for aneurysms and strokes and just a bunch of different things.
I mean, I read all your
you did.
I mean, it was very thorough. Like it was very cool. I don't know why that's not normal practice to like catch things before they become problems.
And that is what's frustrating about like our medical system is like if you have a concern about your body and you go to your PCP, they're going to be like, oh, we could do like a CT scan or something, but first they're going to like pump you full of heavy metals via like contrast through a literal IV, and then you're going to get zapped with like 400 times as much radiation as one X-ray at one time for a CT scan. And what's really interesting to me is like MRIs are actually like way more thorough imaging than CT scans. They just take a lot longer and they're not as like readily available as CT scans. And so that's like the go-to for people, for practitioners, for diagnostic. And it was pricey, but I will say if you're thinking about doing it, if you call them and schedule online or schedule over the phone, sometimes they'll give you a discount for that. And also if you're on social media, there's a lot of different influencers who were paid from Prenuvo to go and do this. And, you know, they were given a like discount code. And some of those I've seen anywhere from $200 to $400 off. And then also if you are a fan of Affirm, you can put Prenuvo on Affirm. And that is a zero interest monthly payment over the course of like
Affirm, like the pay later.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I use Affirm to build my credit all the time because it's zero interest and you can put a payment on there. And it depends on like, sometimes it's like you could pay it over 6 months, over 12 months. I've done that with like Aurora, like our mattresses are astronomically expensive, or like our Air Doctors, anything that's like a big purchase that I'm like, I don't really want to just like put all this money on the card like right now. You can pay like $50 to $500 a month, you know, zero interest, and you're building your credit.
Air Doctors and mattresses on there.
Most places, like even Temu, like most places have an Affirm option. And Prenuvo is one of those. So I was like really stoked. Chase said like, you could just pay for that. But I'm like, I'd rather just like accrue the credit and spread out the payments. So we're going to be paying like, I think it's like the scan was $2,500. I think we're paying like $400 a month for however long that pans out. So that's a way to look at it too. Just like preventative care and just, I don't know. I think I'll do it probably every year, or they said I could go 2 years since they didn't find anything.
Yeah. No, I think that was so cool. I was like really intrigued by that.
Yeah.
I want to put Brady in one of those machines and just make sure everything
I know.
is, like, I don't know why I'm never really concerned about myself, but
Yeah.
all of my little minions, can we MRI my kid?
I know. I know. I feel like I will. Like the minute Sunny can lay still for longer than like.
You guys, so right when Jessie got here, she like literally opened my door, and I'm just thinking about this because I was thinking like if Noah did an MRI, they would have found that.
Yeah.
Like Jessie was coming in my door, and Noah was brushing his teeth with Brady for bed, and all of a sudden he goes, "Mom, look, I got a whole tooth," and I open his mouth, and he's got like a molar, like probably 60% erupted in the back of his mouth, and he's never told me. Like he just like figured it out today, and which is so funny because it reminded me so much of when he was 5 months old. I looked in his mouth and there were 4 teeth erupted at the bottom. I had no idea he was teething. He didn't act different. Like there's just teeth there now, and it was the most wild experience. So it's just like totally.
Oh, totally. They're just the same person that they've always been. I know. Sunny was the same way. Just like never let me know anything was bothering her. And even still, like when she's sick, she's like reaffirming me. Yeah. I'm like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "Yes, Mom, I'm totally fine." I'm like, "But what hurts?" "Well, I'm fine." Like I have to like pull it out of her.
Yeah.
I'm like, goodness.
Is that just like a first
They never
child
change.
thing? I don't know.
Maybe. I night weaned Ledger. We're trying to figure out how to get him. I think I'm gonna fully wean him soon. I'm more over it than I am enjoying it most days, and I think I'm just craving a season to just like have my body be my own body, because I've never had a break. Like from when I got pregnant with Sunny, I have not had a break from either pregnancy or nursing for now going on like 5 almost 6 years.
Would be hard. I didn't do that, so I don't.
Yeah, I feel depleted. I feel exhausted, and I feel like I'm not like I'm just not enjoying it anymore. But he's night weaned. Chase is still sleeping with him every night, and I don't love that. But
how long
every
have you guys
time
been doing that?
that probably happened, I don't know, it was after Christmas, so it's been probably a month, less
Brady
than
and
a
I
month,
slept separate
maybe
2 full months when we were doing Lily. So
it just doesn't feel like we're making progress. Like, and I know he's teething his molars, and he's been sick. It's been one thing after the other with all of that too. So, and then we regressed. Like when he had noro, I was like, okay, obviously, like I'm going to nurse you and sleep with you and check on you. And then he had RSV or flu, whatever that was. I don't know. And then I wanted to monitor his breathing, and I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out what we need to do. Yeah. Frankly, neither of my kids like sleep.
I'm so sorry.
Like the other night, Amanda and I were talking, and I was like, I really want to go on dates with Chase. Like we just don't have conversations where it's just the two of us. Like there's always a kid in the room, and I'm like, I know that we're the reason for that. Like we chose this, and I seriously love snuggling my kids. I love sleeping with them, especially when they're not nursing. But it's really hard when there's no predictability of like, you're going to go in your bed at some point, and I'm going to have my own time or time with Chase. So we're trying to figure out what that looks like right now.
Mine will look different than anybody else, and that's okay. That's the hard part. I feel like we found what worked for us with Noah, and I'm glad because it ended up working for Lily, and probably just because she's a part of this family.
Yeah, that was like such a unicorn situation too.
But I feel like every family has to find that rhythm. Yeah. Because your family's not going to operate the same.
And that's why I'm like, how seriously do I want to take this? Because I do feel like when I fully wean him, I'm like going to be fine if he's in bed with me again. Yeah. It's the nursing all night long and clawing at me and pinching me and poking me.
Both of our
and
second kids like to just pick at our bodies.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter how much I cut his nails. It's like he finds a way to just give me these like sharp pricks in my side and my boob. And I've started sleeping with castor oil packs on every night too. So I also feel like when Chase leaves for like CrossFit at like 5 a.m., he dumps Ledger in my bed. And then I'm just like, he's under my castor oil pack. And I'm like, this is so irritating right now. Like, I don't want this. I would love if he dumped him in bed and I could just like snuggle him. Like, I would love that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you guys will figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, he started drinking out of a straw like a couple days ago. Yeah. You were there. So
promising.
We're good. We're figuring it out. We're on the way to a different life.
I was telling Jessie earlier that my entire January has been, I feel like I've lived 6 months in this month. And I know like January is just kind of like that anyways. But with Lily starting to sleep at Christmas and me getting my capacity back was one thing. The second thing was like, I feel like 2024 was a hard year for me, personally, just with my mom and her healing journey and what that meant for me and my healing journey through all of that. And just like, and I went through all these phases. I mean, I know you remember summer, I was just like bitter and I missed my family. And then I went into fall, like, I mean, it was just like whiplash of emotions all year long.
Yeah.
And I just kind of felt like I started sleeping. I started being able to take care of myself. I started being able to like work out, and like, so all of those things got fixed in my life. And so all I had left to do was like figure out what was going on internally. So I've like been in this weird stasis of like, I know that I have this issue. And now I'm like, I'm trying to map out how to work through those things. I just need to find a good therapist so that I can get help with that. But with that, I've been like, and I was also telling you that we moved into this house and like 2 weeks later I had Lily. So I don't feel like I ever got to like put systems into my house and organize. So while I've been trying to organize my brain, I've also been organizing my house, which I think can be so therapeutic.
1,000%.
I am not even joking when I say I have probably eliminated 50% of the things that we have in my house. Like, I no longer open a single drawer or cabinet in my house and feel stressed out, which is so good.
That's the best place to be.
It is. And then now all I have left to do is like figure out my brain. So
Yeah.
but that has been my whole January, is just like a lot of internal reflection. Right now I'm doing like, I was, I keep saying I was telling Jesse, but I was telling Jesse that I felt like over the last 2 months, because like Brady and I were separate, while we were, I say sleep training loosely, but whatever. We were training her to go to sleep training Lily, where I would be like in bed with her for an hour because like she fell asleep, and then Brady's like doing something else and I have to stay in there. So like I'm just scrolling my phone, or when I was sleeping with her or Brady was with her, like he's in the other room, I'm in my bed. So I was just scrolling my phone, and I feel like I got like an actual dopamine addiction.
Yeah.
Like really bad. And the reason I kept seeing it is like this app that kept getting advertised on my phone. It was like, here's the signs of a dopamine addiction. I'm like, dude, that's me right now. Like intense boredom in my day to day. Like I couldn't sit down with my kids to like play without feeling so freaking bored and like wanting to check my phone, and like then instant guilt, like just feeling so guilty. So I feel like this past like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, it's been a lot of like no phone at all, like cold turkey. Nothing is happening. I mean, Brady's been working late, so I've been allowing myself like 15 minutes, 20 minutes here at night after everyone's asleep and I'm just by myself to like check in on my messages and stuff. But I have noticed like a really big difference in one, like I feel like by this time at night, usually I'm so overstimulated. I'm so crabby. I don't want to talk to anybody. My brain can't process things. And I'm just like, just let me go to bed. Let me scroll on my phone. Let me do whatever. And I don't feel like that right now. I feel like I have the capacity to have a conversation. Yeah. I have the capacity after this to like go hang out with Brady. Also my patience with my kids has been better the last couple of weeks. Not perfect. I still am working on it, but like, I just feel like it's all getting better. And then we were reading that book, and I finished that book today, and I got to those chapters at the end of the book, which I hadn't read yet. And I'm like, oh, this is just so affirming to all the things I was already thinking.
It's crazy how like in tandem with all of that the book was.
100%. And I also just feel like by constantly having to pick up my phone, anytime like there was any quiet, I was feeling it. Like there was no time for God at all, like to talk to me whatsoever. Yeah. So I'm like working on that too.
Yeah. And I just love that you're able to process all of this out loud. Like I feel like you're just like so self-aware, and it's so refreshing, because I think a lot of people live, and I told you this last night, but like I think a lot of people live like that as their norm, but they would like A, never see it as a problem, B, never feel guilty about it, C, never put in any kind of parameters to change that, like being their reality, you know? And I just like really appreciate that about you, and I hope that people can like learn from that, because I do think that, you know, the more that we're here, the more we are bored with our life. And it's like kind of scary, because sometimes it feels like irreversible, you know, like when he was talking about like, you know, like drive the speed limit, like that was for some reason, like I've like kept that in my brain, like drive the speed limit. Cause I'm like, where, like I do always feel this like hustle bustle, like get in the fast lane, pass people. And I'm like, I'm literally a stay-at-home mom. Like I've actually nowhere to be, at least on time. Like exactly. like what is the hurry? Or he was like talking about like, and I won't share too much because we'll talk about it next week, but like, you know, just how we're always like wanting to multitask. I'm like, okay, well, as long as I'm doing these stupid dishes, I might as well be listening to my book. Or as long as I'm folding laundry, I might as well be watching my show. As long as I'm in the shower, I might as well be listening to music. Like my brain is always looking for like, how can I do this and this?
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, what if I just like did my dishes and like looked out at the beautiful hill in front of my house? Or I don't know.
Just my thing was like, what if I just did the dishes and didn't have anything else on, so my kids playing wasn't annoying?
Yeah.
Because why is that annoying?
Yeah.
Why?
Right. It's because we're like
That's
trying to do. Yeah. I also feel like I've really been thinking about just getting a freaking flip phone.
Yeah, a dumb phone. Right? Like the light phone. Have you heard of the light phone?
No.
Like LIGT phone.
Mm-mm.
It looks almost like a Kindle paper. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where it like has no light on the screen. It's just like matte.
Yeah.
And it has an alarm. It has maps now. You can get the one that didn't have any internet at all, but now there is a version that has maps and podcasts. But like the one that I was looking at, because I've always been wondering, like, what am I going to do for Noah when he wants to start talking to friends? And I found this phone. It's like you can upload music to it, like old school iPod, upload your music to it. You can text, you can call, but there's no internet. There's an alarm on it.
Love that.
So like it does the functions.
Yeah.
And then now
does that mean it wouldn't have Bluetooth then?
No, I think you have to plug in your
love that
phone. Or your headphones. So now the new one also has a camera, and you can't see the pictures on it, but you can like upload them to your computer. I don't know, but yeah, no, I agree. My phone, I've been putting myself, I told Jesse I put myself in jail because like just locking everything up.
Yeah,
like,
it's almost like a detox. And we're very similar in this season though right now, which I'm like really grateful for, is that like just like taking a step back and being like, wait, I actually like need to take care of myself. Like I think as moms, we're obviously like wired to be selfless, and I genuinely like don't think of myself much throughout the day. And that's like so easy for me to just be like, no, I don't matter. I don't like my kids need to eat, my dogs need to eat, like my house needs to get, like everybody needs to get taken care of, but like I can wait.
Yeah.
And that's been my mentality, but it's like gotten to this point where it's been my mentality for so long that like it's a problem, you know? And recently I was like, okay, there's things going on in my body that I need to figure out. There's clear issues with sleep. There's clear things I need to process. There's just like, there's all like kind of what you were talking about, all this stuff that you're like, how do I work through this? And so I just told Chase, I'm like, I'm going to get like really serious about protecting some time and space for me to like do things that I know will help me, whether that be mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, whatever it is. And like take that really seriously and like protect that at all costs, because otherwise it will just continue to just be like, you know?
Yeah. No, I think it's really important to like take time for yourself. I think that's now that I can work out because I'm sleeping, I think that's what that is for me every day. Yeah. It's like, one, it releases a ton of endorphins, and I'm just a better person when I like elevate my heart rate in the morning. Yeah. But also it just makes me feel good, and it makes me like my body's stronger, and I can go do more things. So that's definitely a thing. Do you have I don't know if I did goals this year. I really like the idea of not doing resolutions until spring. That's like been a big thing. I don't know. That was on the internet. I sound like a grandma. That was on Instagram before I kind of checked out. But it was like this calendar year that we have is existing because of like Caesar and taxes. Like it used to be the beginning of the year was March when spring came. So it was spring, summer, fall, winter. But because taxes were due in April, they started making the beginning of the like fiscal year or whatever, January. So that, and I don't know. I don't know if that's true, but it really like made sense to me. So, but I did come up with like not a theme, but like almost an intention for like the next 3 months is, I said I was going to be still, which I think I'm tracking into a good direction with. Yeah. And then I'm also going to be curious.
Oh, love that.
Because I think, especially like with myself, because I do feel like I get emotions and they're like, I'm either really mellow or I'm really not. But I've never really sat outside of like therapy and like, why am I getting this riled up? You know what I mean? Just like be curious about what I'm feeling, why I'm feeling it. And also be curious with my kids. Like, why is this happening with them and how can I navigate it?
Totally.
So those are like the two things.
I love that so much.
Did you have any?
I mean, I am a little more like practically, like I gave up sugar, gluten, processed food, seed oils, and social media.
Which all the food stuff is stuff that we really do, basically, anyways. But maybe over.
I mean, I don't know that like I've ever given sugar a second thought, and I also have never given gluten a second thought, aside from like when I used to, not have it at all. But I just, I'm like trying primarily for my grocery hauls to be like 99% refrigerator food, and then like there's like rice in the pantry, you know, or like quinoa. That's like the biggest thing. It's like fasting from pretty much all of that stuff. And it's really cool to see your body. Like, I don't crave sugar. Like I love, like Chase and Chase is not doing this. He can do whatever he wants. But, we used to like love like a treat in the afternoon and like a treat after dinner, and like we would go get like go on drives on the weekend and like get a latte from a coffee shop. And I've just never really given it a second thought. But side note, and like shameless plug, there's this docu-series called The Truth About Cancer, and I purchased it. It's like $200.
Really? Why?
Yeah. It's like 8 or 10 parts, and each part is like an hour to 2 hours long. And
that's wild.
And our government has like sought to wipe this docu-series off the face of the internet. But basically this guy goes around the world and he interviews doctors in all these other countries who have like successfully cured cancer in their patients, and has just kind of raised the question of like, why is this such a deadly disease in the United States and it's not in other countries? And it's of course because of the methods we're using to like quote unquote cure it. And when you start asking those questions of like, you know, why are we using chemo and radiation to cure cancer when they are also known to cause cancer? And like, why is our 5-year, you know, remission rate like all that we can commit to? Because after 5 years, everybody who does those things gets their cancer back again. And all of these really, really interesting questions, but they dive into just like so much research and knowledge and information. And I think like it just opened my eyes. I'm like, wow, like sugar like directly feeds disease in our bodies. It directly. And like once you're kind of like what you're saying about social media. Like I think that like I don't go throughout my day like waiting for my treat, you know, which I used to like just love that. I had such a sweet tooth. But now that I've like detoxed myself from that, it's not even a thought in my brain. Not even a little bit, you know? And like nature, like God gave us so much like sweet things that like aren't artificial too, which is just like those marshmallows I made you. It's like you could put honey in them. You could put maple syrup. You could put stevia. Did you make those ones
specifically with honey and maple syrup?
Maple syrup, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Honey came back as like a thing on my bioresonance scan. So I'm like trying to shift more to like stevia and like, anyways, I don't even know why I started. I think like once I realized what sugar does to the body, it just wasn't appealing anymore. And then once I stopped buying it and having it in my home, I just don't think about it anymore.
Honestly, we haven't, because we've been like sick after sick. I haven't made a treat. We haven't bought anything. So like we've kind of unintentionally, not like saying we go out and I don't have ice cream or we did the snow or whatever.
Totally. But, and I think there's a place for all of that. Like, and I hope to get back to that place where I can have like balance. But like even there's like those sugar-free chocolate chips. Like there's just so many. I don't know, that Prime protein powder that has stevia in it. Like I put that in my tea every night and I'm like, this is perfect. Like, I don't know. There's just like a really cold orange, like straight out of the fridge. I don't know. There's like so many things where you're like, wow. And then you don't experience these like crashes. And that's like sugar and all of the excessive processed food and all that. But like, I don't feel like exhausted in the afternoon. Like I need to take a nap, you know? I also cut back on coffee. Like I'm only having 1 cup of coffee a day.
Yeah, caffeine intake is really important. I very closely monitor mine because I'm sensitive to caffeine. So I do 50 grams in the morning before I work out, 50 grams in the afternoon. So 100 grams total, which is about a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Because if not, I do not break.
Yeah. It's all really good. But I'm feeling grateful. I'm feeling grateful to see that when you do detox, whether it be your mind, your body, or whatever, like it just loses its power over you.
Yeah.
Like I don't crave social media. I don't miss it.
Yeah.
I don't crave sugar. I don't miss it. I don't crave chips and processed crap. I don't miss it.
Yeah.
So it's just really cool. I don't know. It's encouraging. Like if there is something going on in your life where you're like, I'm over this, or I don't like how this has a hold on me, like what you decided with your phone and stuff, like you can change that.
And also, you know, I feel like it used to be the argument for me, like, oh, I want to keep up with my friends. If I have to keep up with you on social media, we're not friends.
And if that's the only time you're seeing my kids, we're not friends. Like I did make like a close friends list and I was posting on that, but then I was like, why? You're getting access to my kids without putting any effort into seeing them. Like,
yeah, no,
the whole concept is just like
all these people that I quote unquote keep up with and that we like watch each other's stories and like heart each other's stories. That's not. I'm sorry if that's
I never feel full like coming off of social media. No. I feel like sad because usually it's like, oh, people are hanging out and I didn't get invited.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like, you know,
or like I just found out this about somebody's life and why didn't they text me that?
Exactly. Like something serious happened to somebody I didn't know, or like, oh, so and so I don't know, like they did all this stuff with their kid today and I didn't leave my house today, and like oh, they made a delicious dinner and I ordered takeout,
or whoops, it's been 35 minutes and I've been sitting here doing nothing with my life.
And I feel like I just like I would build up these resentments towards people that I like kind of don't know, but I'm like, because 100%. Of the things they would post on their stories, or like really aggressive hot takes or opinions, or like I'm like, whoa, like
100%. And then also like the feeling of like needing to share on my close friends list or on Facebook with my family, like my kids, like, no, I have my family chat that's got my mom, my grandma, my sister, my aunts. And like, I'm so fine with just posting
me
to
too.
that.
Yeah. It's completely lost its appeal for me. And I feel like at the end of that book that we're reading also, when he said like, make it a point to live a quiet life, like that's a verse in the Bible, right? Yeah. It's like, what does that even mean? Like, what does a quiet life mean? It probably doesn't mean that I'm like blasting my successes or my failures like all over the internet for people to see. No. And as much as I like love my kids, I think they're so freaking cute and I want everyone to see them, I also feel like you'll see them if you care about them. Yeah. And
that's the only people who should get to see them.
Yeah. And even like, I'm like the worst texter in the whole world, right? But like, I would still find myself being like, oh, so-and-so just posted their story. They never text me back.
Yes, me too.
You know? And it's like all of those things where, you know, I could be like so aware of how hard it is to text people back and like know that that's something I struggle with, and still hop on the internet and be like, wow, she could post her story and she can't text me back. Like, I just didn't like what it was doing to my heart.
I would be like posting a story and then be like, oh crap, I posted a story and now so-and-so is going to see it and I need to text them back right now. So it's like another 5 full minutes of my life that I just wasn't prepared to dedicate. Yeah. It's been honestly the last few weeks because I mean, I've been limiting it for months now, which it's kind of led me up to where I'm at right now, to where it's given me back like a little power, a little bit at a time, to where now it's like kind of completely losing the appeal for me. I do have a couple of like message groups in there that I like go in and check because like it's just my little mini book club and we send like fanfic. So it's like AI art of the books we're reading, and I like that. So like they send it, I'm like, okay, I don't have to scroll to see that. So right now I still kind of get on to check that, but outside of that I'm like, no.
Well, and I think you're like so right about, because I had that same feeling of like I'm missing out on like people's updates in life. Like, okay, but like the minute I get a positive pregnancy test, if I'm not trying to get pregnant, and I don't think I'm gonna get pregnant anytime soon, I'm just gonna voice that. I'm just using an example of like my close friends are gonna know that immediately. They don't have to wait for a post on Facebook. You know, if I don't know, I'm just thinking about like big stuff like that. I mean, I told Amanda, if you're my friend, you hear about my updates every day of my life. Like I will just shamelessly text you like the good and the bad things every day. And I think that's like friendship.
And I'll stop talking about the book after this, but I really liked when he said, like, we always say like, what would Jesus do? But what you should be saying instead is like, what would Jesus do if he was me in this situation? And like, would he be sitting while his kids are over there playing her kids? Because if Jesus was me, he'd be female. And I'm what? looking at somebody's update on their story. Like,
yeah,
what?
I know.
Why was that happening? Am I gonna cry?
I know, it's sad. And when you
if
you ever think about like our ancestors, like peeking into a moment like that, I'm not trying to be like all new agey and weird. I'm trying to think of like like literally think about like our great grandmas or like our great grandmas who had literally nothing going on aside from their kids and their family and what was right in front of them. And like to peek into the future of like we're sitting with this like box in our face and our kids are just like like their lives are unfolding in front of us. Like it's kind of like the plot for like a horror movie.
It is. I was even telling Brady last night too. I was like, how come when at night when we because he comes home, kids are in bed, are being put to bed because he puts Noah to bed, and we come down and we always like debrief on the couch. It's like 30 minutes of us just talking, and then we're like, okay, we're both tired, like, you want to watch a show? Why can't I just sit and watch a show? Why do I have to be watching a show, and texting somebody, scrolling on Pinterest or whatever? Like I physically, and we started a show last night, and I purposely left my phone like in the kitchen because even though I have no access to my apps right now, I will still just pick it up and look at maybe someone texted me. Why? And I just, that is honestly, to me, it feels so pathetic that I can't do that. So like that's something I'm going to work on. I really liked, I'm not going to say it because we're going to talk about it in the book, but no, I'm going to say it. He's talking about having times where he checked text messages and he turned off all the notifications.
Like deleting his email app from his phone and
like,
stuff.
What if I completely like took the number away from my green box on my phone where I couldn't see a notification for a text message coming in? What if I just said, okay, when I don't know, I'm in a school pickup line, my kids are in the car, like, okay, I can send a text, or I don't know. I'm not,
or just like maybe even just like leaving our phones behind more often. Like I wonder if like, even if I'm like making plans with like you or one of our friends, it's like, okay, I'll meet you at the park in 20 minutes. And it's like phone stays home. I know how to get to the park.
Well, we're all like so nostalgic for the 90s. There you go.
I know. True. And then aside from that, I just like have growing concerns about the constant like radiation. And the constant EMFs and night. Me too. But just like even this, it like when they created iPhones, they said like they're not safe closer than 6 feet away from your body. So what does that mean? They're never 6 feet away from our bodies. I know. And you know, like I'll talk about cancer. Like I don't know.
Sorry guys, we are really doing you out. I'm so sorry.
I don't know. I feel like I have a growing concern about just like having a computer in our pockets every day.
And I don't want my kids to be like that. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah.
Like I just imagine, and this is like the thing that plays in my head all the time. I just imagine Noah being in his 20s and finding this girl. You know, he's got this girl that he loves, and this woman like falling so in love with him because he freaking pays attention, because he doesn't play video games, because he's
not watching porn on his phone.
He's not
watching
like porn.
Scrolling,
he's not scrolling. He's not
Snapchat.
liking other girls' photos. He's like actually attentive. And like how rare is that going to be in 15, 16, 17 years?
You want to know what my little sister said to me the other day?
What?
So she's Gen Z. Okay. And she's like shamelessly like Gen Z, you know? They all are.
Yeah.
I got in trouble for stereotyping on one of our episodes about boomers, but like I will shamelessly stereotype. I'm sorry. Like just don't be offended. If the shoe fits, wear it. If it doesn't, then don't. Anyways, I was talking about like how I really want a babysitter, like so badly. And like, why is it so hard to find a babysitter who's like a Christian, who's CPR certified, who isn't going to be on their phone all night? That's literally my 3 things. I'm like, I want you to love the Lord, love my kids, get your face out of your phone. She straight up looks at me and she goes, I think you'll probably just like have to hire someone not in my generation. I was like, no, straight up, like, why can't you guys just like put your phones away? Like,
I had social experience.
I had so many nannying jobs, and one of my last nannying jobs before I had Sunny, I was there every single day. They had cameras in every room of their house, and the minute they hired me, they said, we don't want you on your phone when you're around our kids. I didn't think a single thing of it. I'm like, you're hiring me. This is your home. I abide to your rules. And I loved my days of not having my phone. You know me. I'm like, any excuse to get that thing locked up and out of my sight. And I just think about like the mindset of Gen Z sometimes is basically like, take me as I am or leave me, like you're lost. And I'm like,
don't even talk to me about that with our freaking employees at our office.
I know. I'm like,
no, like
what?
Our team right now is great.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But the all of 2024 trying to find the people that we currently have was hell.
Yeah.
Like I told Brady,
Yeah.
like I almost just want to like put an age limit.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna get labeled as ageist,
and it's like,
but it's
and
like,
that's so
you gotta be
sad
30.
because I'm like, okay, so maybe like we hire like a homeschooled kid that like is, it's just like frustrating to think like, wow, so your phone is that important that even if you're getting hired for a job and a parent is trusting you with their child, like I don't get it.
And I want to say like that's going to get better, but I don't think it is. I think there is like a community of us that's like waking up to it and are raising our kids differently. But we've got friends who I can't let my kid go to their house because they're 6 years old and they're playing the block game. What is it?
Minecraft, or Fortnite.
Whichever one it is.
We don't pretend to know.
Like why?
Yeah.
And I don't know. Anyways, let's stop being so doomy. Our first episode back. This is just where Jesse and I have been for the last 3 months.
We're just heavily processing all of the things
of life.
I also feel like the point of all of this is to like get people thinking, and I feel like we're really
100%.
I feel like we do that really well with each other, where we're just like, wait, like question everything, and then move forward with like what you have peace about. But I think they're like, we're wrestling with this, and we have been, because there's a better way to live. We both know it. Like there's a better way to live than what's being thrown in our faces every day, and we feel the peace of that when we step away from the craziness and realize like we're not missing out on anything that's on that device,
not at all.
Yeah,
not at all. I'll tell you. Okay, so we can end it on maybe an uplifting note.
Yeah,
like what are we excited about? Because right now all I'm excited about is for spring. I want my windows open. I want to clean. I want to put up a porch swing and plant flowers. And I'm already like planting my garden. That's what I'm excited.
I'm excited. I think I'm excited for our book club to start meeting again. I love the book club dinners, and I love like play dates. And I feel like that was so fun last summer.
Yeah.
I'm excited to do that. I just feel so good about like having a group of friends where you're just kind of like, that's your attention focus instead of like all these like scattered relationships everywhere, No,
I agree. The book club has been a saving grace for me. And I do feel like this
we need to change the name, because I feel like people hear book club and they're like, why are you so obsessed with your book club? I'm like, it's like literally our village.
Group. Yeah. It's village. It's 100% our village. I do feel like all of 2024, I feel like I was not able to be vulnerable. So that's another thing I'm going to try and work on this year.
Yeah.
Is to like admit my faults out loud.
Yeah.
Not just in my head. Because I feel like I'm always harsh and critical on myself.
Yeah.
But I never voice that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like be vulnerable, make deeper connections with people.
Mm-hmm. Not be afraid of your emotions.
Yeah. I think 2025 is going to be great.
I do. Yeah. I'm hoping the same. I'm excited for warm weather for sure.
Yeah.
I would love to plan a vacation.
I keep trying to do it with Brady, but he's so friggin' busy right now.
I know Chase won't commit to anything right now.
January,
I think he's like just in the depths right now.
January is like nose in the ground, focus. February is always our biggest month of the year, every year since we've opened, because Brady does not stop working in January. So it's whatever. I'm so grateful for him. It's a dual emotions with entrepreneurship.
Yeah, it is. It is. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
But
all right. Well, we will see you next week.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna jinx us this time. We're gonna see you next week, because everything is gonna be hunky dory, and
also because our kids have collectively had every illness floating around
get
the globe right now. I'm like, what else could there be? And if it is something, it's not going to be the big ones, because we've gotten the big ones out of the way. I'm like, you know what? Noro and RSV, like those are the things that I'm like, I don't. And influenza A was honest hell on earth. But like, I'm like, you know what? The colds, it's okay. The stuffy nose, it's okay. I'm so grateful, because I'm at the point now where I'm not terrified of Sunny getting sick anymore, because she doesn't get croup anymore. Thank the freaking Lord. I'm so grateful for that. Now it's just inconvenience, And I'm in therapy to deal with some of my like OCD around medical stuff and like working on that. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else that we're going to catch.
So if you take anything from this episode, not anything, if you want to get the gist of this whole conversation, 2024 was a year of survival. January has been a year of it has been a year of reflection. The month of January
40 days
has
and
been
40
a
nights.
year of reflection, and hopefully we can butterfly it out in 2025.
My goal, which would be so nice, and like maybe 5-year goal, is have a house to go to January through March, just like on the beach.
Yeah.
Maybe even just like rent it. Like someone comes stay at my house, I stay at their house 3 months out of the year.
Yeah, you want to come to? Why would anyone want to come here in January?
Maybe they're sick of the beach. Maybe they want some snow.
All right, we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Thank you for listening, and remember that you were chosen to be the mother of your children.
And you are exactly where you need to be.
See you next week.